We wanted a family of our own. We went down the biological route and we tried for several years and it didn't work out for us. So we were very committed to having a family. So adoption seemed to be the next natural sort of route really for us. Knowing that they had support post-adoption, but also knowing the sort of courses that they offer.
What we thought important going forwards is all of our friends who'd had children naturally, actually as part of the process you generally had the NCT, so there's that community of support going forwards. And what we found so important and so compelling for us was Diagrama offered that community. They were saying they would keep you in touch with other adopters so you can actually share experiences, which is fundamental. Everyone wants to do that. And also the support they offered with courses and ongoing, just being there, we felt was so important for us. And that's what we felt we wanted to do.
I think the steps were quite overwhelming for me. I felt like there was a mountain of paperwork before we've even started the training. And just reading the questions and how to answer them, and just felt like needed to write an essay or something. And also being analytical of yourself was quite hard because obviously never really sort of look at your childhood or your values or in that amount of depth.
So hindsight said it all makes sense. At the time it felt very invasive, but actually you're looking back on it, it all makes sense, and it all kind of, especially when we read the report put on us, it kind of, okay, now it all makes sense. But at the time it is very invasive, and that is something that people really need to be aware of. You've got to be prepared to be open and honest. There's no point trying to hide anything.
And also the training sessions also taught us a lot about the children that were up for adoption and what we would be taking on, and the needs of those children, and to see if we were actually going to be prepared for that or not. And the training was very useful. We soon focused on them as opposed to what our needs were, so that we switched sort of mindsets from the training. So. Yeah, the day we met our son for the first time was like amazing. It was just, we were full of nerves. We didn't know how he was going to react to us, but when we actually saw him and held him, it was like the most joyous moment. But he first thing he did, I think he smiled, but then he threw up on us, and it was like, oh, okay, welcome. But yeah, it was an amazing feeling to be able to finally sort of hold him and touch him, and yeah, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, when we saw him, he was perfect. We just fell in love with him. Yeah, we feel extremely proud, and we then know what it is to be a parent, because previously we used to hear our friends talk about their kids and we used to just brush it off and just not actually understand that feeling. And now, being parents, we understand what it is to be proud of your child.
I mean, it's very much, to be honest, we're probably no prouder than any other parent. When he started school, we were the same as everyone else, standing there with the camera out front of the house, the camera out front of school. But then when we look back at it, we think, actually, we've gone through a lot more to get here. And it was good. It made us we were very happy about it.
Yeah.
And our friends who said the same thing, actually. They said, you've done well to get there. I think very much what we'd say to someone starting on the journey now is you're doing the right thing, you're finding out about it, you're getting the information. And from our point of view, it's absolutely worth it. We're now a family, we get to do the family things. But if you're starting on the journey, make sure you're sure.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth it, but do your research first and just be ready for a lot of emotional roller coasters. I think once our son came home with us, it was really intimidating and scary, but at the same time we knew we had support from social workers to come and visit us to see how we were getting on, checking in on us and reviewing what was going on, and yeah, just how everything was settling in, basically.
And I think there's a time about 3 or 4 months in where there's a fair few of them came over just to make sure that as a whole they were happy with how he was getting on. And it felt good for them just to look around and go, yep, you've bonded, it's nice.